Hello everyone and welcome back to the PE Insights podcast, conversations about physical education with me, your host Nathan Walker, brought to you by the fantastic team at PE Scholar. Today's episode is a bonus episode. We've got an exciting announcement to make, and in this conversation that I have with Jen Moyer and Adam Tibbals from Sports Directory, and alongside me was Will Swaves from the PE Scholar team, we have a conversation about an exciting new partnership. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode as much as you do the other ones. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the PE Insights podcast. In the room opposite me today, I have Will Swaves from PE Scholar and Jen and Adam from Sports Directory, and we've got something really, really exciting that we'd like to share with you today in our bonus episode. I'm going to hand over to Will just to tell you a little bit more about that announcement.
Amazing. Thanks, Nathan. And I guess as you've already alluded to, we're really excited to share the start of a new partnership, hopefully one that will last a long time between Sports Directory and PE Scholar, which includes sponsorship of the PE Insights podcast. So the really exciting news for the listeners is we will continue to bring great guests and great episodes, perhaps a little bit more regularly, into their ears, and stories about how PE experiences can help other physical educators make the subject even better for all children. And I can't actually imagine there's any PE teacher out there who hasn't come across Sports Directory. But in case there are any, I'm going to hand over to Adam to share a little bit about Sports Directory, what they do and who they are.
Thanks, Will and Nathan. It's been it's a great opportunity here, and to see you guys. A little bit about us. I'd say echo Will's thoughts. Hopefully, you know of us. We do get around a fair bit and bump into many PE teachers. We're Sports Directory, one of the leading suppliers of sports equipment to all the education market. So if there's a bit of sports equipment, we sell it pretty much. So we've got a great range of products for the primary and secondary sector, and in a great team. So it enables us to get around the network and meet some really fantastic PE teachers over each individual school. So
Amazing. Thanks, Adam. And then I guess, Jen, we sparked a conversation a while back about the potential sponsorship of this. So I'm just interested to hear, why did you want to sponsor the pod?
Well, we're all really thrilled to sponsor your podcast. We love your podcast. I think our mission is more than just supplying schools with PE equipment. We really want to support sort of the future of physical education. I think this podcast is really unique in the sense that it amplifies the voices of PE teachers and, key researchers, sports professionals, and they're all really passionate about making that difference. So it allows us to sort of contribute to meaningful discussions, share best practices, and hopefully that will raise the standard of PE, for every pupil. And it really kind of encompasses working together as a community to do that. So we're really thrilled to be able to be your sponsor, and we love all the work that you do.
Thank you so much, Jen. As you can imagine, me sat here, 18 months ago with an idea. It's amazing to get support from yourselves and a company like Sports Directory and really celebrating and championing the messages that we're pushing out there. So thank you. You talk about raising the standards of PE. So let's talk a little bit about PE then. What were your experiences like when you were at school? What were your fond memories or not so fond memories of PE when you were in school?
Okay, so when I was at school, it's going a while back now, it was the typical sports curriculum. So, so term 1 would be netball, term 2 would be rugby. There wasn't a sport that I fell in love with at school. And if I was to think about myself, I would have labelled myself as one of the not sporty students. I had great teachers. This is no negativity against my teachers. They were fantastic. But I did Irish dancing outside of school, and my whole family's involved in Irish dancing. My sister's got her own school. Both of my sisters have placed top 10 at the Worlds. And that was really what I think about when I think about physical activity when I was younger. I'm so thankful that I was part of that. I gained a whole new friendship group. They're still my friends today. And some of my best memories are from dancing. So I always remember sports days. Sports days were fantastic. I really enjoyed sports days. But when I think about physical activity when I was younger, I really think more about my experience with dance. As an adult, I'm really interested in health and well-being. I've kind of had to unlearn a lot of the stuff that we were taught when we were younger about what is nutrition and what constitutes good exercise. And I go to the gym with my friends a lot now, and I really enjoy it. And I spend a lot of time at the side of the pitch watching my boys as well. So yeah, it's a big part of my adult life, I would say.
Did you ever get the chance to show off your Irish dance in schools when you were in school? Was that celebrated at all, or was it just?
It was. Yeah, it was at times when we went to some of the bigger competitions. I remember doing assembly once, and I was really proud to be that. But yeah, it was more sort of something that I had outside of school, I would say.
And what about in your teaching days, Jen? I know you then were a teacher of social sciences. Did you ever get on the stage and do any Irish dance?
I didn't. I didn't. I don't think I would have been too keen to do it as an adult. But yeah, it's like I said, it's still a big part of my family's life. So I see Irish dancing quite a lot.
And you've got your boys you mentioned.
Yeah.
What does PE look like for them at the minute?
They adore PE. I think PE is so different now, isn't it? Part and parcel because of all of these people coming together to talk about how PE can be improved. PE is their favourite subject, both of them. They absolutely adore it. Ethan's teacher is actually head of PE for the school as well. And he's so proud that his teacher is head of PE. If you asked him about their school day, you can guarantee they'll say, I can't remember what I did, unless it was a PE day, and then they'll tell me everything that they did in their PE lesson. So, it's huge for them.
Love that. Adam, go on then. What about your school experiences in PE?
Well, first, I think we need to witness Jen's Irish dance in the office.
I'm going to regret this, aren't I?
Go back on that. But myself, I'll be honest, I wasn't particularly sporty at school. Certainly in the primary years, I probably lacked a bit of belief, really, and I didn't really have much confidence. It's only when I went to secondary school where the teacher sort of saw something in with me with running, and I took part in some cross-country events. And suddenly I was at the front of the group and leading, and I got noticed. And before you know it, you're doing some inter-house competitions and some inter-school, and it really gave me some belief and a little bit of determination myself. And it was after that, really, that's when I started to join a club outside of school and enter races and become involved in the sort of community outside. And it's quite strange. I still see my head of PE. It's quite amazing. He's still local to me, and every now and again you see him marshalling some events. It still is a bit of pleasure when he comes up to me at the end of a race and you shake a hand and he'll say, "Well done, Adam. I always saw a bit of a runner in you," and it still kind of gets you a little bit, and puts the hairs on the back of your neck up, and I will still shake his hand and I'll still call him sir, whether it's a bit of a joke or something, but it still means quite a bit to me. That
and if that means a bit to you, Adam, I'm sure it means a hell lot to him.
I think it does. You can kind of see it in his eyes. Yeah, I think you do. You do see it when he comes up to you, and and you sort of become not a bad runner in my aging years. So and it kind of makes me proud to show him that, even though he's my head teacher and it's many, many, many years ago, but it still gives me a little bit of pride to to show him what I did, and probably because of him, that's how I became what I am. Yeah.
I mean, well, ultimately, that's what we aim for in the PE profession, is to promote lifelong positive relationships with movement, and that is a perfect example of it. And it's that conversation with you is him, that being really explicit that he's had that impact, and there's nothing more powerful than that, I don't think. And obviously you're a father as well, so your children, is it children?
Yes, two girls. I do try and persuade them to do a little bit more running. They're more into the dance, if I'm honest with you, so which is unlike me, but dancing and constantly at school early. My daughter Swan was at an early school. She goes to school before it starts, an hour before, for a morning dance session. So they're very much into their dancing and activities. So a little bit of running, but certainly more on the going down the dance route.
Brilliant.
I'm sure we could talk all day about our previous PE experiences, but also what your, I guess, shared joys and pains are coming through from your children these days. But moving the conversation on a little bit, I'm really keen, as Jen, as we got talking at a conference a few months ago, you were talking about my reward scheme for teachers, and actually almost that surprise that more teachers don't take up that great opportunity. So one thing I would definitely like to position in this episode is a chance for you to shout about and why teachers should engage with that scheme. So I don't know who wants to pick that up, but yeah, tell us about it.
Yeah, Adam, do you want to explain a bit about?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously I go around and I meet with teachers, and it still amazes me that many schools, PE teachers don't know about this. So yeah, our scheme, which is basically, you get 10% back. So if you spend with us, you're going to get 10% of that value back in vouchers. So yeah, it's quite amazing that we have all these schools that buy a purchase with us and never really utilise this scheme. You're basically getting more money to spend. It's a great incentive, and it's more money, especially in the current budgets and climate. You're getting more money to spend. We're trying to promote it a little bit more at the moment, and I think as Jen says, it's something we really feel quite passionate about.
Mm-hmm. There's no minimum or maximum order that you need to make either. So every time you spend with us, schools earn money back. It's open to all schools in the UK. It's free to sign up. It's a click of a button. Often the finance team are the people who do that signing up, but it's good for PE teachers to know about that, because that is essentially growing their budget. And we're very aware of how stretched schools are at the moment. So because of that, that's where this reward scheme has come from. We wanted to sort of give back to schools and grow their budget.
And the one bit, sorry, Nathan, the one bit that I was thinking on with this, we're obviously writing a lot of content for Oak at the moment, which includes new activities. So, for example, Chook Ball, and need buy in some rebound freight to help with that. Well, we know that schools are replacing their footballs, their netballs, their rugby balls, their bibs, their et cetera, every year. And often, once that's been taken account of in their budget, they have very little to invest in. Well, what could we do that's new and different on our curriculum? And I almost see this 10% as a nice way to go, well, do your normal spend for the year. And then the 10% could go towards something new and different that you could add into your...
Yeah, that's totally correct, Will. I think this scheme does enable, schools to purchase those sort of, you could call it a luxury item, the items that they wouldn't normally be able to afford under their current budget.
And it's a good point to make, Will, because I think schools are really wanting to diversify their curriculums at the moment. And we as a company are always looking to expand the activities and sports that we cater to. So if there's PE teachers that are looking for equipment for a new activity or sport and we don't have it, they should absolutely get in contact with us, and we'll do our best to always expand our range and cater to that need.
Is there any examples of how schools have used that? Is there different ways in using it? Are they just adding the 10% on top of their initial order? Or are they getting the vouchers and using the 10% later for something later in the year, perhaps? Or...
The last thing is they've got complete freedom, because these are just vouchers that they can apply to any order. So it could be that, actually, I'm going to use this money to do the replenishment of the PE cupboard. I'm going to use it to buy a whole load of new balls and things like that. Or it could be, as Will said, to grow their curriculum, to be a little bit more creative with it. But how they spend that is completely with the school and with the PE teacher.
Yeah. Sometimes we get it, they purchase equipment and the vouchers enable them then to go and buy a new football strip for the pupils for their first teams, things like that. So it's a real mixture. Just enables them to go and purchase those other items which I just wouldn't be able to afford.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about when you put in that order for new shuttles and table tennis balls at the start of the year, and after term one they're 50% gone. It might be
black hole, don't they, for balls? And they're never found.
So they can that's something that, like Will said, I think in the initial posing of the question, is that it's a no-brainer. It's 10%. It's just, it makes sense to be involved in that. I would love to dive into the quickfire questions, if you don't mind. These are ones that all of our guests get, and you're a guest on the show, so we'd like to pose them to you as well. The first one is, what are your non-negotiables for positive experiences for all in PE? Jen, do you want to start?
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, non-negotiables. I think for me, inclusivity is a huge part of PE, and so that would be my non-negotiable. I think you've got to think, if your lesson and curriculum is inclusive, do you want the children to just do PE now and do their PE lesson now, or do you want to get them to grow a love of movement? And I think inclusivity is the key to that. If you can find something or adapt your lesson in a way that means that everyone is involved and everyone is enjoying themselves and having fun and making progress, then you unlock a love of physical education and movement for life, not just in the confines of that PE lesson once or twice a week. So for me, I would say inclusivity.
Adam, do you want to?
Yeah, totally. I mean, Jen has summed it up very well there. I mean, yeah, in engagement as well. It's not always, there's a fun element, but it's about engaging with all pupils, all abilities, and enable them to be, to enjoy the time, enjoy the PE lesson, just and feeling a part of it, and wanting to go into a lesson, and looking forward to it. Just looking forward to being included in a team sport.
I don't know how you feel, Will, about listening to those answers, but for me, from a company that are outside of physical education, that are talking so positively and championing positive experiences with movement for life, is really quite refreshing, and like developing an understanding of what our subject could and possibly should be. It's really nice to hear.
It reassures me that these guys are really in it for the children, but also for the schools, and clearly surrounding themselves with passionate teachers and listening and hearing. Needs to change. And I think so often in our profession, everyone thinks they understand what PE is because everyone once upon a time had a PE lesson in their life, and it's that lived experience that breeds, I guess, a feeling of knowing what that is. Whereas for many of us, we were never an astronaut, so we don't know what rocket science and those other things look like. But people have this perception that they may feel like they could, or they desperately wouldn't want to be a PE teacher, but there's this sense of total understanding of what it is, even though I think it's changed a lot since, every generation it needs to change, doesn't it?
Yeah. On the theme of change, then, the second question is, what would you change or remove from current PE curriculum and PE experiences for young people? What would you get rid of?
I know what I would have got rid of at the time, and that's the bleep test. I have a core memory of the bleep test, and everyone's sort of sitting and watching everyone take part in that, and it was hard, shall we say? But I think what comes from that, what I would remove, is this focus, a real hard focus on just outcomes, which I honestly don't think is where PE is at the moment. I really think we're moving away from that. They're still important, sport is still really important, but it's not the be all and end all. I think one of your recent podcasts, I think it was Jan. Is it Jan Dussett? She spoke about she spoke about those labels, those sporty and non-sporty labels, and I think most people in that lesson that I can recall came out of that having categorized themselves as either sporty or non-sporty. And I think the impact of that for the PE for the rest of their time was really big. And again, that wasn't down to the PE teacher. My PE teachers were fantastic. So I would say a move away from outcomes and a core focus on competition and ability, and more towards lifelong learning and different, how movement can be different for different people and how you can be good at things in different ways. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I love that. That's a really, really nice, honest reflection from your own personal experiences as well, but also a nod to the direction we're moving in. Adam, what would you remove or change if you could?
Well, I think when I go around, I spend a lot of time going around to PE departments, and when you go around, you realise that sometimes they just haven't got the correct equipment or the poor equipment. It's you go, sometimes they've got the wrong size football, wrong size netball, wrong size goal, and it's quite frustrating when you go around there. Particularly, obviously, I'm coming from a point where I know where you can buy that equipment. I know it's available, it's readily available, and if you speak to us at Sports Director, we're able to help. For instance, my local school, they contacted me to say they haven't got any footballs for some girls' PE, so we just took some smaller balls in for them. And the thank you we got on the the reaction you see is quite special. And that's just supplying 10 free footballs to them just to help them out. I think it just enhances that. Really, there's still many departments out there just either can't afford or just haven't got the correct equipment. And it's just quite frustrating. Obviously, I look at it from a point where we're able to supply that. But I think right equipment to.
I don't know about your memory, Nathan, but certainly my early teaching career, there was only one size of badminton racket.
Yeah.
It broke really quick and easy. And again, like, racket sports are hard to pick up. So now it's almost become more of a standard in schools that they'll have short shafted rackets.
They've got 3 sizes, and so many still many people don't seem to know they've just got one size for the smaller children. Yeah.
I think it's a tricky one. I think there maybe is an increased awareness. I still think some departments are under resourced, and that's a bigger problem for us to try and solve in this chat. But knowing that you're as a company there to support schools and are listening and willing to support is really nice to hear as well.
Yeah, we absolutely are. And on that point, we understand that especially in primary schools, there's often people who are ordering for PE departments that might not have, need some help and support with picking the right equipment for their children, for the children that are learning with them and the sizes. There's always a team of people in the office. You'd always speak to a person if you call us up, and we're able to give that advice. We actually even have a WhatsApp, don't we, Adam, that you can, you can just text us on WhatsApp.
Receive the questions, just to ping and answer a question and say, what size football would I need for this? What size goal do I need for an 8-year-old?
I'm teaching year 4 next week, and what size bat should I be getting? And we'll answer those. So don't be
really useful.
Us those questions.
Yeah, that's really useful. Okay, we've got sort of 2 more quickfire questions to go through. And Jen, listeners might not know this, but you're a qualified teacher.
I am, yes. I was a teacher for about 13, 14 years, I think. I worked in a variety of roles. I wasn't PE. I was social sciences, so that was sociology, psychology, and a range of other subjects that come under that sort of umbrella. I was really lucky in my career that I was able to do a lot of different job roles. So I think I've been subject leader, head of year, part of the teaching and learning team, a designated safeguarding leads. So I've been able to see all aspects of a school. And I've worked with some amazing PE departments as well, who obviously I'm still very much in contact with. I had a career change about 18 months ago. I moved into marketing. I'm really, really enjoying that. But education is still a huge, huge passion of mine. That obviously hear me talk about in the office a lot, like Adam. It's a huge passion of mine. And I work closely with schools now still. It will always remain something that I'm really, really passionate about.
I think the listeners will definitely be able to tell that from what you've said so far, there's a passion for education still. So the only reason I said that is a kind of segue into this next question on what's the best bit of advice you could give someone about to embark on a career in teaching physical education or in teaching more generally?
Oh, what's the best bit of advice? I would say being a teacher is really, really hard work, and it's a real roller coaster up and down, but it is one of the most rewarding things that you will ever do in your life. You'll remember these experiences as a teacher forever. I think my advice would be to always remember, even on those really hard days where you come away from a lesson, you think that didn't work the way I wanted it to, or the workload's quite high, or you're, trying to improve a department and you're finding it really difficult. Always remember that you are making such a huge difference to the lives of young people and to the people around you. And like Adam said, those teachers will remember you and feel proud of your experiences for their whole lives. So just remember why you're doing it, what a difference you're making, and lean on support of people around you when you're having those bad days, and really embrace those good days, because there are a lot of amazing days.
Yeah, nice, powerful message, particularly for anyone about that's maybe training right now, just to maybe get them to rethink their why and why they've stepped up to this profession in the first place. That's really nice. And Adam, obviously you aren't a qualified teacher.
No.
So we maybe flip the question a little bit, because you're a father of two to girls. What sort of teacher, or maybe PE teacher, do you want for your young children?
Well, as a parent, it's really had a PE teacher who's supportive, really, of whatever the ability. It's quite amazing. My daughters will come home from school and be like, "Daddy, I played round us today and scored and scored 4 points, 5 points," and they're so excited about that. I think it's the encouragement. You don't realise the smallest amount of encouragement makes such a big difference. It's only got to be, I scored a goal today. I came back. The teacher, said, "Well done." I got selected for to run in the 100 meters. Small things really do make a difference when they come back, and when you see that on their faces, it really does help. Don't remember those small comments make a big difference when you see it with your child.
Yeah, I like that. We try to tell our trainees, and from my experience when I was teaching, we'd always, those phone calls home, the positivity postcards, the merits for effort and achievement, they often sometimes go a little bit awry and maybe sometimes missed, but they can have, as you've just mentioned, a huge impact on the young person's life, can't they?
They help spark conversations at home as well. When you're around the dinner table and you've had that postcard home or phone call home, it's a great thing to talk about with your children, and when you boost their confidence and help them to feel proud of themselves. Yeah,
and just before the witching hour, it makes the nice positive atmosphere in the house, doesn't it? We had a nice conversation when we got home from school and work today. Yeah, it really does. Maybe a question for you to think about then, and we'll go to Adam first now, is what activity or what would you love to see happening in PE in schools? What would you like to see? Activity, sport, change?
Well, I probably won't be able to get them involved in a marathon running. I think that's probably asking a bit too much. But I just like it to be more of a core subject. If I'm honest, I'd like to. When I was at school, PE always was, and I think you still get this kind of element. PE was never really the core subject. It was always like further down and didn't seem as important. And you still sometimes see that when I go to schools and you see it in the PE departments. I would like to see that as part of a core subject. More important, it means more than what it seems to. It really, it's as important as the other subjects out on the curriculum, and sometimes you don't feel that.
Jen, do you want to build on that, because I know you're passionate about this message?
Yeah, I completely agree with Adam. I think that there's a real movement that we've noticed recently amongst PE and sports professionals to push PE as a core subject, and it is one of the only subjects that or one of the subjects that we definitely want every child to take that with them throughout life. So it should be sewn into the whole school day. I think we really need to move away from this idea that PE is this timetabled lesson once or twice a week, this 60 minutes a week, which even that is hard for children to sort of achieve in schools, and have it as a whole school approach that is embedded throughout the school day. When they arrive at school and they're waiting around, what activities are there available that they can do to move around a little bit? The same for break, the same for lunchtime. What before school activities could they do as well as after school? How can we promote an enjoyment, more opportunity for movement and more enjoyment of movement throughout the whole day? We want to sort of build these things into every aspect of our school life. And that takes a really strong leadership team, I would say, a strong leadership team that's going to listen to their PE department, that's going to look at their whole curriculum and think, where can I embed opportunities for movement for these children throughout the day, not just within that PE timetabled lesson? Where can I create these opportunities? So a move towards PE being viewed as a core subject is something that we all feel really, really passionately about.
Will, have you got anything to add on that?
No, you can see how we were happy to engage with these people.
Yeah, I was just saying, we were talking briefly before we recorded today about what these quickfire questions might be, and again, a nod to the message that's coming from Sports Directory around a core for PE being a core subject, and physical literacy and movement for life is, it's something that we both agree with. So hopefully it's the start of a really successful partnership, and I'm really happy that we've managed to have this chat today. I know there's PE teachers listening, so there's some other things that are happening in the next couple of months that you might want to mention.
Yes. So there's a few events coming up that I thought PE teachers should be aware of, probably are already aware of. But first being Youth Sport Trust's National School Sports Week. That's scheduled this year for the 16th to the 22nd of June. It's powered by Sports Direct and Under Armour this year, and the focus is on children being always active, so really tied in nicely to that PE being a core subject. It also focuses on championing that 60 minutes for children every day. It comes with free resources when you sign up, so you get activity packs and challenges, and there's a chance for your school to win prizes too. But it's always such a fantastic week, and a real coming together of some of the experts in the area to provide a fun and engaging week for all. And we also have coming up our Summer Monster Kickabout. So Monster Kickabout is a nationwide football initiative, and that's powered by Sports Direct and Nike. And again, when your school signs up, you get lesson plans, activities, and I think if schools sign up for the 29th of next month, I believe it is, I have to check, you get the chance to win free equipment for your school as well. Those dates, I believe, are the 30th of June to the 11th of July. So works out quite nicely that in the last term, you could have two really big events for children to enjoy. So I'd encourage PE teachers to go onto those websites and sign up for those events.
I think the nice thing is, Jen, is trying to engage with those things early. I always feel for the schools that perhaps wait until, and then they hear about it all over social media, and they're like, oh no, like these things take time to organise and plan and sort the logistics of on site to make sure that their school can make the most of it. And it'd be so frustrating if they don't get on board early.
Absolutely.
It's all over the news and they're not doing anything.
And like I said before, I think with things like this, it really needs to be a whole school approach. So I would urge PE teachers to take a look at these events and take it to your leadership team and say, this is what I'd like the school to do. There's often assembly resources that are as part of these packages as well. So it can be scheduled into your whole school timetable, that you can market it to the students and the parents in advance and really get a lot of excitement around these activities. So I agree with you, Will. Also, the sooner you sign up, the more likely you are to get a chance of winning some free equipment. So, have a look. That's National School Sports Week and Monster Kickabout.
And on that, actually, Jen, what we used to do is we always used to do some sort of sponsored event during National School Sports Week.
Yes, yeah.
And that led to raising some funds that we ring-fenced in PE for future stuff. So again, thinking to that, maybe you want to bring some new activities or some new thinking, or maybe just refresh your bibs to have ones that fit all children.
Yeah.
And now for September, then there's some nice opportunities to go, let's do a sponsored event that can fund, or maybe that you want to grow your health and fitness program and buy some more equipment for that. Maybe a sponsored event as part of National School Sports Week could help with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
love that. Some absolutely fantastic initiatives for you to go in that you've just been signposted to. It's been brilliant speaking to you both this morning, not only to announce our partnership and the sponsorship of the podcast, but also to listen to you both talk about your experiences of PE and your perspectives of PE, which are neatly aligned with both myself and Will's and PE scholars as well, which is has been great. So thank you for coming on and having a conversation with me as well.
No, thank you so much for having us. We've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you.
And thanks, Will, for being the sidekick on today's episode. I always appreciate having a guest host, so thanks for coming on as well.
No worries, buddy.
Great to speak to you all.